Hi, it's me, Mina, the Diag again. There are a lot of things that I don't think that is covered when we go through theory, or even when we're working with our diagnosticians that are supposed to be mentoring us. Like, for example, initials, the timelines that they're supposed to be done in, or what happens when a parent comes to you wanting their child tested. What's the process at that school? They may run up to you and say, hey, I want my kid tested. Okay. So I need you to write that down, sign and date that, but you still need to know your school's process and procedure for that. If that has to go through the counselor, or if you need to tell your SPED director, hey, I got this notice for this parent that wants their child tested. And then if that's the case and everybody agrees, or you figure out your process, that's when you put together your notice of consent, the proposal, the R document stating what their rights and responsibilities are. Plus you give them that other process and procedural guide for them to keep. And you give them a parent information sheet. And you're expecting at least the parent information sheet and the notice of consent to test back. Because as soon as you get that notice of consent to test back, that starts your time frame when you put it in the computer. Not when the principal gets it and it's sitting on her desk and she gives it to you 2 months later, but when you actually get it in your hand. Now, you get a lot of requests for special additional testing. A lot of people don't know that you don't have to, when it comes to going back retesting for something. Let's say they want to add a FBA to a child or things of that nature. Well, if they want to add something to it, they still have to sign their consent. A lot of districts don't make them sign it because they've already probably been tested within that year. They have a consent on file because they were just tested for something and they forgot to ask. But you still have to get that consent all over again, and it starts a new timeline with whoever is testing that child. And at that point, if you're not testing for academic and a COG, then it goes to the person is testing. Some districts let the LSSP tests for emotional disturbance plus the academic and the COG. Some districts have the LSSP only doing her psychology part, whereas you're doing the academic and the COG. It just depends. Parents, unless it deals with assessment and testing, I know nothing about buses. I know nothing about school lunch schedules. I don't know why your teacher's sending out all this homework. Always make sure that they understand that they're a part of the R committee. I noticed that a lot of my parents would go around me to the principal or call central office, and I'm sitting there in the meeting, and I know the meeting is very intimidating because you're sitting there with all these people, but all of these people you know, right? I mean, you know the child's teachers, you've met the principal, you've seen the principal, you come every year to a meeting. You may not know me because I'm new to the school as a diagnostician, but I'm still a person on this team, and you're the parent. So please make sure they feel very, very comfortable when you stop in between and say, okay, so she has gone over her goals and objectives. Do you have any questions? And give them time to formulate a question. And if they say, I don't have any questions at this time, well, just kind of think about it and jot them down as we go, and then we can come back to the end. That was a mistake that I made. I just asked if they had any questions, and I was constantly asking them if they had questions behind everything we did, but I noticed that no one was writing anything down. So when it came down to it, I got a few people saying that they didn't feel comfortable in the art and things of that. And I was like, really? You didn't feel comfortable? This is your art. You stop and tell me. And another thing, parents will ask you to test their child to death. Now, if they were just tested last year on an academic and a COG, you can go on and test them. Some districts will allow it. Some will just, make you read the scores forward. But you don't have to do a full cognitive battery on a child because it's no need. It's not going to change. If they were just tested in another district and it's still good, it's not going to change. Sorry. And I know a lot of parents don't want the AU label on their child. It's not a label, but it's something that's happening to your child neurologically that they need assistance for. And that's a hard, bitter pill to swallow. I understand that. But if it was my child, I would definitely want to know what's going on. That's just me. I don't have any children, and I work this job every day as a job. There are times when I felt really, really overwhelmed in this job and nobody to talk to. And when you do try to talk to people about this job, they look at you strange, like, you should know that, you're a diag. But that may not be what I'm coming to you with. And I don't think coordinators or principals or parents get that you're alone in this world trying to figure out the information that you've been given. And when you come to them with a question, you don't need the pushback of, but you're a diag. That look turns everything in a totally different direction. Even though the coordinators say, oh, we understand, we're patient, they really don't. They're not patient. They want it done when they want it done, right then, because the law is constantly changing, and they're saying that they're being patient, but they're not. The only thing I can tell you, this job is a very rewarding job. It may sound like I don't like my job, but it is a very rewarding job, trying to figure out if there is a need for special education services or if there's not a need, or what is the problem. Maybe it's something outside of me that I can't help you with, or the LSSP can't help you with. But it's a very, very rewarding job. It's not relaxing, but it's very rewarding. But it's very stressful. And I try not to take anything home with me after I had my car accident, because this job never ends. That paperwork will still be there in the daytime when you get there. Next year, I might change my strategy if I get 2 schools. My strategy might be back-to-back days versus, I listened to my mentor, which was kind of cool. She told me to do my largest school Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, my smaller school Tuesday and Thursday. Well, next year, what I might do is back-to-back days and use Friday for catch-up days at either school, wherever I go, wherever I feel I have the most work. What else have I learned? I always take that lunch break for yourself. One school, I would come out and sit down. I ate at 12. So I started eating downstairs with the 3rd grade team. So that gave me a chance, because most of my kids were 3rd graders. So that gave me a chance to hear what they were saying about the kid and kind of take notes in my head. So when I was doing my teacher observations or listening to what they were saying, I could include what they were actually saying, because some of the stuff is the same stuff they're going to put on the form. Some of it's very honest, and you have to kind of make it not so raw. But at my other school, because they didn't see me but Tuesday and Thursday, I didn't sit in with the fine arts group. I should have, because they seemed like they were so much fun. And principals are always busy, always. And everyone will try to do your job for you, and they don't even know what you do during the course of a day. They feel that you're just sitting in there typing, doing nothing, when that's not even the case. You're sitting in there typing, answering emails, trying to get documents out, trying to schedule parents, trying to figure out what the secretary is saying somebody's downstairs to see you, trying to get kids on transportation. You're trying to get prior written notices met. You're trying to get notices of consent out. Then you have the speech therapists. You're trying to get them settled with their stuff. So people have no idea what you do in those 360 minutes that you're there with those kids per day. Testing is the easy part. Testing, putting it in XBAS, writing the reports, and doing the read, that's the easy part. The hard part comes in when you're sitting in an art and you're thinking to yourself, I could really be upstairs writing a report right now. Or I could have pulled little Billy and we could be testing right now. I never understand why they need a diagnostician in the art if it's not a read or it's not assessment. Because most teachers are taking their own notes anyway. The principal definitely is, because they have a folder that they're, or a tablet or something they're writing in. So I never understand that part anyway. But tag me if you think of anything else. I have been getting questions. So these videos aren't random. They're just things people have come to me with and said, hey, you should make a video on this. And so that's what I do. So if you have a video that you want let me know. Please make sure you hit the subscribe and the like button so I can keep making these videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.